Did you know that a simple quarter could be worth thousands, even millions of dollars? That tiny 25-cent coin in your pocket might just be hiding a secret, a rare variation, a minting error, or a historical gem that collectors would pay a fortune to own. Most people see quarters as just everyday change. But what if you unknowingly carry a small fortune? Imagine casually reaching into your wallet, pulling out some spare change, and noticing something unusual about a quarter. The date looks different. The design seems off. Your heart starts racing as you realize you could be holding a rare U.S. quarter worth an incredible amount of money. This isn't just a fantasy. It has happened to people before, and it could happen to you. The U.S. quarter dollar is more than just a coin. It's a piece of history, a collector's dream, and sometimes an unexpected jackpot. From the first quarter minted in 1796 to modern designs, this coin has seen countless changes, variations, and hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Some quarters are worth thousands due to low mintage, while others skyrocket in value because of minting errors that make them one of a kind. But what makes certain quarters so valuable? Why do some sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auctions, while others are just pocket change? And most importantly, could you be holding one right now without even realizing it? Let's start at the very beginning. The U.S. quarter dollar was first introduced in 1796, and it was no ordinary coin. It featured Lady Liberty on the front and a powerful eagle on the back. But here's the shocking part. Only 6,146 of these quarters were ever made. That's an insanely small number, making the 1796 quarter one of the rarest and most valuable U.S. coins in existence. If you ever come across one, you're looking at a coin worth well over $1 million. Over the decades, the design of the quarter changed, each new version holding its own mysteries, errors, and hidden gems. One of the most significant transformations came in 1932 with the introduction of the Washington quarter. This coin was originally meant to be a one-year-only commemorative piece to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. But it was so well received that it became the permanent design we still use today. However, not all Washington quarters are the same. Some of them, due to rare mint marks, production errors, or special designs, are worth an unbelievable amount of money. Take, for example, the 1932 D. Washington quarter, a legendary coin among collectors. Minted in Denver, only 436,800 of these quarters were ever struck, making it one of the rarest and most valuable quarters in U.S. history. If you're lucky enough to find one in good condition, you could be sitting on a 5-figure payday, with some selling for over $10,000. But the real magic of U.S. quarters lies in minting errors, those tiny mistakes that turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary find. Some quarters have double strikes, off-center prints, or missing details that make them unique, and collectors are willing to pay huge sums to add them to their collections. In fact, some error quarters have sold for 6 figures, proving that even the smallest mistake can turn a simple coin into a rare and valuable treasure. And here's the best part. You don't have to be a coin expert to find one of these rare quarters. They could be hiding in your piggy bank, sitting in an old drawer, or even handed to you as change at store. That's what makes this so exciting. Anyone, anywhere, at any time, could stumble upon a quarter worth a life-changing amount of money. One of the most famous error quarters is the 2004 Wisconsin Extra Leaf Quarter. In 2004, the U.S. Mint released a special Wisconsin state quarter as part of the 50 State Quarters program. But something unusual happened. Some of these quarters were struck with an extra leaf on the corn stalk on the reverse side. There are 2 varieties of this error, the extra high leaf and the extra low leaf. If you happen to find one of these quarters, you could be looking at a coin worth $300 to $2,000, depending on its condition. And speaking of state quarters, let's talk about one of the most valuable and sought-after modern quarters, the 1999 Delaware Spitting Horse Quarter. This quarter features an image of Caesar Rodney on horseback, but due to a minting defect, some of these coins show a small line extending from the horse's mouth, making it look like it's spitting. While this may seem like a minor detail, collectors love these unique errors, and they can sell for hundreds of dollars in the right condition. Now, let's go back to some of the oldest and rarest U.S. quarters that could still be out there, waiting to be discovered. The 1916 Standing Liberty Quarter is one of the most legendary and valuable quarters ever minted. Only 52,000 of these coins were produced, making it one of the lowest mintage quarters in U.S. history. If you're lucky enough to find one, it could easily be worth tens of thousands of dollars, even in worn condition. Another quarter to watch out for is the 1943 Washington quarter struck on a silver planchet. Most quarters made during World War II were struck in 90% silver, but a rare few were accidentally struck on the wrong metal, creating an incredibly valuable error. If you have a 1943 quarter that feels lighter than normal, it might be an error coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. But how can you tell if you have one of these rare and valuable quarters? The key is to check the date, the mint mark, and any unusual details on the coin. Some of the most valuable quarters are worth money because of small variations that most people would never notice. For example, the 1970 S-proof quarter struck on a Canadian quarter planchet is one of the most bizarre and valuable minting mistakes in history. Instead of being struck on a regular U.S. quarter blank, some of these quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for Canadian quarters. The result? A quarter that looks slightly different and is worth thousands of dollars. And let's not forget about silver quarters. Before 1965, all U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver, which means that any quarter from 1964 or earlier is automatically worth more than its face value just because of the silver content. But some silver quarters, especially those with rare mint marks or errors, are worth far more than just their weight in silver. So, what should you do if you think you found a rare or valuable quarter? The first step is to research the coin and check its mint mark, date, and overall condition. You might be sitting on a hidden fortune without even knowing it. There are still countless rare and valuable quarters waiting to be discovered, and the next big find could be yours. Will you be the lucky person who stumbles upon a coin worth a life-changing amount of money? What if I told you that some U.S. quarters are worth more than a brand new car, a house, or even a lifetime of savings? That's right. Hidden among everyday pocket change are some of the rarest and most valuable coins in history, waiting to be discovered. Could one of these be in your possession right now, without you even realizing it? The journey of the U.S. quarter dollar is filled with surprises, rare mintage, incredible minting errors, and coins that have sold for jaw-dropping amounts. These small, everyday coins have become collectors' treasures, auction house headliners, and unexpected sources of wealth for lucky individuals. But what makes certain quarters so incredibly valuable? And what should you look for to ensure you're not overlooking a hidden fortune? Let's talk about the rarest and most expensive quarters ever sold. One of the most legendary is the 1796 draped bust quarter. This was the very first quarter ever minted in the United States, making it historically significant. Only 6,146 of these coins were ever produced, and because of their age, very few remain in good condition today. If you happen to find one, even in worn condition, it could be worth upwards of $1 million. Another record-breaking quarter is the 1823 overdate quarter, which features a minting mistake where the year 1823 was struck over a previously engraved 1822. This coin is so rare that only a few exist today, and when one appears in auction, it sells for massive amounts. The last known sale of this quarter reached an astonishing $705,000. But you don't have to go back to the 18th or 19th centuries to find valuable quarters. Some modern quarters, still in circulation today, are worth thousands due to rare minting errors and low mintage numbers. One of the most famous modern error quarters is a 2000 P Sacagawea dollar/Washington quarter mule. This coin is a result of a bizarre mistake at the U.S. Mint, where a Washington quarter was accidentally struck with the obverse front of a Sacagawea dollar. Only a handful of these incredible errors have ever been found, and they have sold for over $100,000 each. Another modern rarity is the 2005 P Minnesota Extra Tree quarter. In this quarter, an extra tree appears in the background of the design, caused by a misalignment during the minting process. It may seem like a small detail, but collectors love these unique errors, and some of these quarters have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then there's the 1965 silver Washington quarter, one of the rarest error coins in modern U.S. history. In 1965, the U.S. Mint transitioned from 90% silver quarters to copper-nickel-clad quarters. However, a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets instead of the new clad planchets. These rare silver 1965 quarters are extremely valuable, with some selling for over $10,000. So, how can you tell if you have a rare and valuable quarter? Here are some key things to look for. 1. Check the date. Any quarter from before 1965 is automatically valuable due to its silver content, but some specific years and mint marks are even rarer. 2. Look for mint marks. Coins from certain mints, like the 1932D or 1932 S. Washington quarters, are extremely rare and valuable. 3. Examine for errors. Double strikes, misprints, extra leaves, and overdates are just a few of the high-value minting errors that can make a quarter worth thousands. 4. Pay attention to the design. Special edition quarters, such as those from the 50 State Quarters program or America the Beautiful series, sometimes have rare variations that increase their value. Now, let's talk about one of the most iconic quarter series in history, the 50 State Quarters program. This series, which ran from 1999 to 2008, featured unique designs for each of the 50 U.S. states. While most of these quarters are common, a few have become highly valuable due to minting errors and special variations. One of the most famous error quarters from this series is the 2004 D. Wisconsin Extra Leaf Quarter. Some of these quarters feature an extra leaf on the cornstalk on the reverse side, and collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for them. Another sought-after quarter from the series is the 2005 Kansas In God We Rust Quarter. Due to a grease-filled die, some of these quarters were struck with the phrase, "In God we rust," instead of "In God we trust." While it may seem like a simple mistake, collectors love these unusual variations, and they can sell for hundreds of dollars in high-grade condition. But rare quarters aren't just limited to U.S. The Canadian quarter also has its share of valuable coins, with some being worth thousands due to rare minting errors and special editions. For example, the 1973 large bust Canadian quarter is one of the rarest Canadian quarters ever made. And if you find one, it could be worth over $10,000. So, what should you do if you think you found a rare or valuable quarter? The first step is to carefully examine the coin. Look at the date, mint mark, and any unusual features that could indicate a minting error or a rare variation. Next, consider getting your coin professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These organizations will authenticate your coin, determine its condition, and assign it a grade that will help maximize its value. And if you do have a rare and valuable quarter, you might want to consider selling it at an auction. Some of the world's most expensive quarters have been sold through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections. These platforms attract serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for rare and high-grade coins. But even if you don't find a six-figure quarter in your pocket, there's still plenty of value in collecting U.S. quarters. Many older quarters, especially silver quarters from 1932 to 1964, continue to rise in value over time. Plus, coin collecting itself is a fun and exciting hobby that connects people with history, art, and hidden treasures. The U.S. quarter dollar is one of the most fascinating coins ever minted, with a history spanning over 200 years. It has evolved from the early drape bust designs to the modern state quarters and America the Beautiful series, each one carrying its own story, rarity, and potential for incredible value. So, the next time you come across a quarter, take a closer look. That simple coin in your hand could be far more than just 25 cents. It could be a collector's dream, a historical masterpiece, or even a life-changing discovery worth thousands or millions of dollars. Will you be the next person to uncover a hidden treasure in your pocket change? Keep searching, because you never know when fortune might strike.